Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very happy Vaikuntha Ekadashi. I hope you all had a long break too, and I have come back from my vacation. So let us continue from where we stopped. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We'll continue from chapter 51, a narration of the accounts of three devotees. My humble obeisance. My humble obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra. My most humble obeisance. I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. We stopped at verse 116. So let us continue from verse 117. Even if this body be given in offering to the Guru, the body too is but mortal. And even if the jiva be surrendered to him, it is in itself illusory. Sadguru is the giver of the true, the real thing. By offering the Sadguru illusory things, how can that giver repay him? It is just impossible. I hope you remember we were doing stories about account of three devotees, and in that Baba is talking about the grace of the Guru. So who is this Guru and how do you be an ardent devotee unto the lotus feet of this Sadguru? When you have this real master in your life, you need to put all your effort and surrender it unto his lotus feet to attain your spiritual will. And in this Baba is saying, what can you as a mere mortal being can offer to him? Even if this body be given in offering to the Guru, the body too is mortal. What use is it? Even if you offer this body unto his lotus feet, there is no use for him. And even if the jiva be surrendered to him, it is in itself an illusory. The jiva itself is an illusory. The fact that I am alive, I am existent, itself is an illusory thing. Because the only truth is that Lord Almighty. So he's saying, what can you offer to him? You can't offer anything to him. Sadguru is the giver of true, the real thing. What does this true, real thing means? He is the giver of that jnana, that knowledge of that self, Parabrahma. Why? Because he is the Parabrahma himself. The Sadguru is none other than the Lord Almighty. Guru Saksha Parabrahma. He is the manifest aspect. The Sadguru is a manifest aspect of the unmanifestation. So it's the Guru Tattva, we have already discussed this. He's an essence. So you don't go by looking at the physical body of your Guru because he's not that body. He's that Tattva. He's the essence of that Lord Almighty who has manifested. He's donned that garb. This body is just a vehicle to impart this knowledge. So Sadguru is the giver of the true real thing. He's the one who can give you that understanding about the truth. What is the truth? That Satchidanand, the self. Who is this God? He is the only one who can give you this understanding of the real thing. By offering the Sadguru illusory things, how can that giver repay him? See, by giving anything which is in the manifested world, the created world, you can offer him money, you can offer him, whatever, a grand house, you can offer him all the material things. Yet you cannot repay him. Why? Because everything is illusory. Everything that is in the manifested world is an illusory. It's unreal. Even this body is unreal. That is what he's saying. Forget about the body. The jiva itself is unreal. It is illusory. So what can you give him? You can't give him anything. So he's saying, how can that giver repay him? So how can you repay him? It is just impossible. It is next to impossible. So don't even think, I have offered this to my Guruji, I have given him so much money, I have taken care of him. All that is nonsensical thing. See, you are nobody to take care of him. Please understand, you are only an instrument in the hands of the divine. The divine will works. You are the chosen one. Everybody has to serve a purpose. So when the divine Lord Almighty manifests on this planet Earth, they make provisions for certain things in life. So don't bring your ego and think you're taking care of your guru. Never ever have that thing. Please understand, you're doing seva. Service unto the lotus feet of your guru is only thing that you can attain, you should have, and only then will you attain the bhakti, the devotion to him. His grace will come on you, not with ego, arrogance, anything, thinking that I am the greatest thing, I am the one who's giving you, I am the one who's taking care of you. Never have that ego at all. Please be submissive. Always have humility and humbleness. Understand you are nothing but the instrument of the Lord alone. Hence, with single-minded devotion and faith, prostrating in obeisance, worship the Sadguru's feet by bowing your head on them and remembering with gratitude his beneficence. What does it mean? You can only remember in gratitude the knowledge that he's conferred on you, the things that he has done for you, because you are not doing, no matter how much you wear yourself out for the Guru, it is not equivalent, it is never equivalent to what he does for you. Please remember this. He takes on people's troubles. He suffers for everybody. Can one other person do that for you? Not even your own parents can do that for you. Please remember this. Nobody. You can say, oh, she's my wife, he's my husband, he's my brother, sister, this is my child. No child, no kith and kin will ever stand for you during your tough times. But the Sadguru, the compassionate mother, the Jagat Guru will stand for you. You know why? Because that is who he is. He is not a petty human being like you and every other person in this world. He is the Lord Almighty. And to being divine, and most important, to being the Sadguru is even more a greater responsibility. His position nobody can take, and only he can be a Sadguru. So, bowing at his feet, what is mentioned here? Hence, with single-minded devotion and faith. Devotion and faith. You cannot have, devotion split to different things. Oh, today I'm going to get married. I'm going to be now devoted to my wife. Your mind space is already occupied in that. Remember that. You have a husband, you have a child, you have an autistic child. You are lost in ensuring that the child does well. Your focus is 100% towards this child. So where is the place for God in your heart or even in your mind? God is a very afterthought. The only reason you will go to God is if something happens to your child, your father or your husband or yourself, then you will say, God, please save me, please cure my disease. That is when you will go to God, not otherwise. Please remember, what is mentioned here? Single-minded devotion. The moment you think about your mother, father, there's somebody else, your wife, your brother, your sister, husband, children, there is no single-pointed devotion. Then you have already gone away from God. Please remember this very well. Every scripture teaches this. Only with single-minded devotion and faith, prostrating in obeisance, worship the Sadguru's feet by bowing your head on them and remembering with gratitude. Oh, gratitude. Oh my God. That word doesn't exist in our dictionary. You know that? No matter how much the Guru does, you will still think, oh, my Guruji is not doing anything for me. He is giving to somebody else. Where is the gratitude? Please remember, he has picked you from the gutter and he is purifying you. He is taking away all your karmas. He is suffering for all that muck that you have come from. And he's suffering for all that garbage that you have collected over years, and he's polishing you. And what are you doing for him? You're doing nothing. You think you're doing a favor by serving him or doing something for you. You think you're doing a big favor. Please don't ever think. And if that thought comes to you, please get out. Be it anybody, whether it is me or anyone in this world. When you think you are doing any favor to your Guruji, that day you have lost it. Here it is mentioned, only with gratitude. You have to prostrate unto his feet, bow your head unto his lotus feet with gratitude. What is this gratitude? Gratitude for everything that he is doing. You might not see what he is doing. He is never going to say to you that I will do. My Guruji will go to so many different places and I can just observe him. He'll confer blessings on so many different people. His one touch on somebody is a magic. And people do not understand that. They don't realize that. And I just observe and I see his greatness, I see his compassion, I see his benevolence, I see who God is. It really brings tears to my eyes when I see his such a big heart. He's an Atanga Sagar. Nobody can be him. There is nobody on this planet Earth who can be my Krishna Guruji. He wears himself out for everybody. He forgives everyone. He forgives everybody's misdemeanor. And it's very sad to see that people do not respect my Guruji, and that hurts me a lot. It really hurts me. I just cannot understand this. So my Guruji will very compassionately explain to me. He says they are ignorant beings. They don't understand. And he will give me stories about how people are. It's okay, he'll tell me. But you know what? Never make that mistake ever. You will suffer for it. It is, I'll tell you, it is the words of this Guru here. I'm not saying anytime you disrespect knowingly or unknowingly, you will have to pay for it. And never disrespect the Guru. Always give him the highest position in your life. You think you want to get married, you have somebody else in your life, please understand, nothing is going to come to you except the devotion unto the lotus feet of your Guru. That is the ultimate thing which will give you that redemption. You running after material worldly things is not going to give you spiritual weal. The more you run after material world, only the bondage you are going to get into. From releasing from that bondage is why this Guru has come here, putting us on the path of dharma and showing our swadharma. That is the only purpose why he manifests on this planet Earth. He incarnates, he manifests time and again to save his devotees. And we devotees want to go into that material worldly enticement, Maya, and get lost in that and get entangled. Never do that. So, worship the Sadguru's feet by bowing your head on them and remembering with gratitude his beneficence, his greatness, all the things that he does for you. Always remember. Never let your mind ever forget how great he is, because your mind is a very delusional thing. It has a lot of conceit and deceit. It is very deceitful. It will always show you how bad your Guruji is, or he's not doing anything for you, but he's doing everything for the world, and that is very wrong. And never fall prey to your mind. To remember the debt of the Guru constantly is truly an ornament to the disciple, who, while those disciples who try to repay it will only lose their own happiness. Oh my God. It is a very, very, very profound truth which Baba is saying here. To remember the debt of the Guru constantly. What does that mean? You have to constantly remember what your Guruji has done for you. Not just forget, become an ungrateful creature. You can't do that. Baba is saying here, to remember the debt of the Guru constantly. You have to constantly remember what your Guruji has done for you. And if you forget even for a moment, you will be lost in the world of Maya. You can ask him, I want marriage, I want good job, I want to earn in lakhs. You want lakhs? I will give you millions. Please go away. You can earn all the millions you want in this world, but nothing will come to you. Know how much million will come to you? You will still be shortage of that. There will always be paucity of your $1 billion in your life. Please remember, it is only with the grace of the Guru that no matter what you get, you will be able to be contented with what you have. And if you cannot be that, then you will get lost in the world of Maya. There's a very beautiful movie, and I think we've been discussing, even my Krishna Guruji has mentioned about this. It's a South Indian movie. It's called Mookuthi Amman. In that, the goddess says, the moment you believe in me, I will not give you anything. But when you don't believe in me, I will give you this whole world. The Maya will be yours. You will have all the riches in the world. You will have all the money in the world, everything. But you will not have God in your life. But please remember, when you have the grace of the Guru, everything will come to you at the right time. That which has to come to you. And what comes to you with his grace is pure. There is no karma accruing with that. So you need to understand, he will give you that which is sufficient for you to run your life. Nothing less, nothing more. The more you ask, the more you're going to go into gutters. So to remember the debt of the Guru constantly is truly an ornament. What is the ornament that you will wear, adorn, is remembering the debt of your Guru. My Guruji has done so much for me. How can I be, how can I serve him? That should be your bhava. That should be your motto in life. How can I live his lessons and become the best in this world? How can I apply every knowledge that he has imparted to me? What does the Guru teach us? My Krishna Guruji only teaches us good things. And sometimes I feel very terrible when I get that anger, and he'll say, don't get angry. There's no point in getting angry. But to live his words is very important. Sometimes it upsets me that I fail at times not living those words. But what is mentioned here, to remember the debt of the Guru constantly is truly an ornament to the disciple. And most importantly, when you live the lessons taught by the Guruji, That is what becomes an offering to him. That is when he is very happy that my disciple is following the path, he's following my teachings. That is when he becomes truly happy and contented. That is the only way you can ever repay him. His debt can be repaid only by following and living his words, being that epitome of that knowledge, goodness, grandeur, glory, compassionate, kind, forgiving, good self, loving. Today, the goodness and love has gone out of the window. We are at each other's throat. We don't like people. Why can't we see God in everybody? Even this morning, my Krishna Guruji was teaching this. He's saying you need to be able to see the divine. Don't look at the physical body, how they look, what they do. Look at the divinity in them. Then you will not feel that, the attraction or repulsion against any human being. You will only feel that goodness and love for the divine. That is why these great masters, do not discriminate, not differentiate between good, evil people. They don't have anything. They are always in that state of samabhav. Samabhav means equanimity. Everybody is equal to them. They don't discriminate. They confer the grace on everybody, whether he's deserving, not deserving. They don't, they never judge anybody by that. They understand a human being and, who has their nature, which is fallible. So they understand a human being is a fallible because he's given to his tendencies and nature. But doesn't mean you can get away with murder all the time. The fact that you're getting this knowledge, you better buck up. And you better learn and start applying. And if you don't, then don't be in spiritual. You can please get out. There's no point in you being in spiritual. This is exactly what it is. It is not a fad. It's not a fad to be, I'm spiritual. I'll sit for satsang for 2-3 hours. And after that, what happens? I'm back to square one. That is not why we are studying. That is not why we are reading this. That is not why this knowledge is coming to us. The fact that this knowledge is coming because we have to live these lessons. We have to apply practically. Application of this knowledge is extremely important. Until you don't apply, then these remain only mere words. Then Satcharita is over, we'll close the book and the book goes back in the library. Then what happens to the teaching of Baba? It's lost, it's forgotten, is it? So, while those disciples who try to repay it will only lose their own happiness, what he's saying, those who think they want to repay their Guruji are only going to lose their happiness. You cannot ever repay your master. Please remember, you are eternally indebted to this great Sadguru. Whoever has come in your life, you are eternally indebted. You cannot repay in any form or, in any means. There is no way. The only repayment, like I said, is to live his lessons, to follow his teachings to the T. And only when you do that will you even see that, that will be a small offering from your end to the Guruji. Nothing else. Nothing you can offer him. No money, nothing. Nothing that you give him, nothing that you do for him will ever equate to the one thing that he will seek from you is to live his lessons, to follow his principles, to follow his teachings and become that epitome of that godliness. That is what he craves to see in every disciple of his, in every devotee of his. Having heard the story so far, the listeners are now thirsting for more, and seeing their eager curiosity, I shall narrate one more story. Like the worldly people, the saints also show their brotherly love, or rather convey in essence how they are prompt in guiding the people. Or maybe Sai instructs in spiritual matters for the benefit of his devotees by himself taking on different roles. A brief story with this significance will now be narrated. Listen to it respectfully, O listeners, so that you will come to know how the saints recognize the mark of other saints without being told. Once, Shri Vasudevananda of the order of sannyasins called Saraswati came to the famous Raj Mahendra city on the bank of Shri Godavari. He had great intuitive knowledge and was a staunch advocate of Karma Marg, path of action, the sacred Ganges of Dove, of whose fame still echoes on the surface of this earth. On hearing such fame that travelled from year to year, faithful devotees from Nanded, like the noted lawyer Pundalik Rao and others, made a firm resolve to take his darshan. And also, those people set out and arrived at the Raj Mahendra city. In the morning, they went to the banks of Godavari for the Swami's darshan. In the auspicious time of the morning, all those people from Nanded set out to bathe in the Ganga, that is Godavari, singing stotras. Seeing the Swami standing there, they prostrated in obeisance with good feelings, as questions of well-beings, etc., were mutually being exchanged. The topic of Shirdi came up quite casually. And as Sai's name came to his ear, Swami folded his own hands in obeisance and said, "He is our brother and is completely free from desires. We have great love for him." Picking up a coconut from there and giving it to Pundalik Rao, he said, "Offer this at the lotus feet of our brother with folded hands when you go to Shirdi. Convey my obeisance and tell him from me that may your grace be upon this poor creature, that I may never forget him. Let my love for him keep on growing forever." This is actually very beautiful. This is how the great divine beings treat each other. Like my Krishna Guruji visit all the sages and the saints. The true sages and the saints. I'm not talking about the fake gurus, okay? He has nothing to do with people like them. He'll visit Ramana Maharishi's ashrams, or whenever we go to different places, if there is a Ramakrishna mission or a Ramakrishna mutt, we will go pay our obeisance. You know why? Because we revere these great divine beings. So it is only to go and tell, it's nice to meet you. I've just come to say thank you. It's just a meeting. Or when my Guruji goes to Calcutta, he will visit Dakshineshwar and go visit Ramakrishna ji's room where he was, he lived for many years and worshipped Kali Ma. So like that, he visits different sages and saints, and they just have this saying, "Let your grace be." This is such a way to give them respect. You have to pay everybody their due respect, and my Guruji teaches us to live this. We have to pay everybody their due respect. It is very important. Let my love for him keep on growing forever. So what is it all about? It is about love. It is love for the divine beings. It is love for each other. And when you see another divine being, you only express love. There is nothing else. When my Krishna Guruji, there was a very divine being called Riyananda Baba of Kamareddy. He is no more with us. Every time my Guruji would visit him, I've seen Baba waiting out to greet my Guruji. The moment he comes, from the time go, he will ensure that he sits there, he talks to him, gives satsangs, and he'll make my Guruji also speak there, and everything is so beautifully organized. And then we have our whatever they offer as lunch, everything with love. And he'll wait till that last moment. And when my Guruji is leaving, he will cry like a child. It's nothing but love for the divine beings. My Guruji will love to visit that place only for meeting Baba. It is his love that we would go there and meet him once in a while. It is so beautiful to see the great beings, in their own way, express their love for each other. This is what we have to do with this entire universe. But do you ever feel love around? I was talking to someone and this person was telling, there is no love today. Everybody's there's too much ego. Even the material world people are feeling this. Why is this ego so strong? What is that you're going to achieve by having so much ego? Ego is not good. Ego will be the root cause of your own destruction, your own failures. You have to always have goodness. Humility and humbleness is a mark of a great being. My Guruji will always say, a great leader, the first thing that will show is from him is about the way he'll treat people, how he respects, how he behaves in a most humble manner. He's never going to, tell the world how great he is, or he's not going to demonstrate his knowledge. The superiority of his knowledge will never be shown. On the contrary, he'll say, I don't know anything. Like my Krishna Guruji will always say, I don't know, I don't have knowledge. He'll never acknowledge that he's all-knowing. That is a mark of a great master. That is a mark of a Sadguru. Only God can be that. We mere human beings, we know one little bit and we'll say, oh, I know. What is this I know? You don't know nothing. You know nothing. Not an iota of this. Every single day when my Krishna Guruji gives teachings or he gives us lessons, I feel, oh my God, there's so much to learn. And we think we know too much. And I just feel I'm nowhere. Because knowledge it's like Athanga Sagar. It's a limitless ocean. So how can you say that I know? That I know is wrong. That I is the ego. You need to destroy this I. Knowledge is just is. There is no I there. Who are you to know anything? Please remember, I don't know actually. I don't have knowledge. So when you have this humility, then knowledge will come to you. But you don't, become egoistic and arrogance because of your knowledge. And please remember, when you show your ego and arrogance of your knowledge, your downfall is sure. It is already you have planned your downfall. You are going to fall. So never demonstrate that ego of knowledge. This is what it means. You have to always show your love and goodness. When you go to Shirdi village again, remember to offer this to my brother with my regards. Although we, the Swamis, have the restriction that we should not bow to anyone, yet on certain occasions it is beneficial to violate that rule. Hence, when taking Sai Darshan, let not this thing be forgotten and remember to offer this coconut to Sai's feet. On hearing his words, Pundalik Rao bowed at his feet and said, as his Swami's command, so will it be obeyed. With great respect, I will obey the command, for I consider myself blessed on account of this. In this way, surrendering to the Swami with a single-minded devotion, Pundalik Rao went away from there. When the Swami called Baba, his brother, was it meaningless? Baba always acted according to the Shruti, which says, till you are alive, always follow the vow of Agnihotri, that is keeping the fire morning and evening, after offering the fire a handful of rice. What people call the dhuni would always be in front of Baba, burning day and night. It was Baba's vow to keep it so. The well-organized means like Agnihotra for purifying the heart, which led to attainment of Brahman, Baba practiced in order to guide the people to the right path. Shri Vasudevananda Saraswati was also a yati, sannyasin as well as an observer of vows. Was it then meaningless that he called Baba his brother? Then, before a month was over, Pundalik Rao had an opportunity to go to Sai's Darshan with 4 friends. They took with them their luggage, some fruits and also, without forgetting, the coconut. Their minds happy and at peace. They set out for Sai's Darshan. Then they got down at Manmad and feeling thirsty, they went to the stream as there was still some time for the train to leave for Kopargaon. As drinking water on an empty stomach is harmful to health, somebody who had brought a packet of chivda took it out, a pinch of it in the mouth, and it was found to be too hot. All their effort, they felt, was in vain, as it would not be eatable without some fresh coconut. So one of them said to the others, I think of a way out. Let us break a coconut and mix it in the chivda, and then see the marvel of the taste. No sooner was the word coconut pronounced than lo, here was a coconut already. Where was the delay in breaking it open? Once mixed with it, the chivda was simply delicious. So what they forgot is, this was offered to Baba, and something that is offered to somebody else, you cannot eat it. And that is a great sin they are doing. Rather, you'll come to know as we read this. And it's a great sin one can commit. After eating, they all drank water. The moment the word coconut was uttered, there appeared the coconut. No one asked whose it was. Such was the intensity of hunger that it made them oblivious of everything else. Later, after returning to the station and boarding the train to Kopargaon, Pundalik Rao suddenly remembered the coconut on the way. Seeing the Shirdi had come near, Pundalik Rao became very restless and agitated that it was the coconut given by Vasudevananda, which was mixed in the chivda by mistake. Is it by mistake? No, people are lost in their worldly things. Hunger, thirst, lust, greed. So do you see? Where is God here? How can you not remember that this is a coconut given by the Swami to be offered to Shri Sai Baba? You mean your hunger is such a thing? Can you believe how petty we human beings are? We give in to our sensual pleasures. On realizing that the coconut had been broken, Pundalik Rao was filled with fear and his whole body began to tremble absolutely. An offense had been committed against a saint. He felt very sad, thinking, oh, how grave a sin I have committed. Now the Swami's curse will come upon me. All that I prattled away there has been in vain. On seeing such a fate of the coconut, Pundalik Rao was stunned with amazement at his own deception. Do you see how the mind is so deceptive? And you think you can overcome your mind without the grace of the Guru? No matter the God sitting in front of you, the God will be right in front of you, but yet you wouldn't care to even honor Him, respect Him, and you're going to be lost in your own material worldly people. Now, what can I offer to Baba? How can I explain to him? Oh, how can I show my face now that I have lost the coconut? Pundalik Rao was very sad in his mind on seeing that which was to be offered at Sai's feet had already been eaten up. He thought to himself that it was indeed an insult to all the saints. Absolutely. Now, when Baba asked for the coconut, all will put their faces down in shame, because in everyone's mind will be the guilt that it had been their snack at Manman. Today the coconut is not with me anymore. To tell him the truth, I feel ashamed, but it will not do to tell a lie, for Sai Maharaj is omniscient. However, when they took Sai's darshan, they were all very happy, with tears of joy springing in their eyes. All their faces were most cheerful. At present, we send messages day and night on the wireless and flaunt our achievement, being filled with pride. For this, we have to set up wireless stations for which unlimited money is spent. But the saints do not require such means. They send messages through their minds. How beautiful it is, how profound that is. Do they need any means to send any message? No need. Just one thought and the message has already reached that person. Such is the power of this omniscient being. They're omniscient, omnipotent, and they're present everywhere. At the time when the Swami gave the coconut to Pundalik Rao, he had already sent a wireless message to Sainath. When Pundalik Rao was taking darshan, Sai Baba said, all on his own, bring my thing which you have brought from my brother. Oh my God. See, Baba is so great. He's all-knowing. Greatly saddened, Pundalik Rao said, holding fast to Sai's feet, there is no other way for me but to beg your forgiveness. What can I say? I had remembered about the coconut, but hungry as we were, when we went to the stream, all of us forgot completely. As we ate the chivda, this very same coconut was broken and mixed with it. But I will bring another coconut. Please accept it without any anger. Is that the coconut the same thing which you can offer now? No, it is not. What comes from the hand, which is given exclusively from the hand of Vasudevananda, cannot become the same. Even if you go by another coconut, it is not the same. Please remember this truth. Because in that coconut is the essence of that love which is filled. It's not the coconut, it's the love which he sent. He sent an offering to Baba. So please remember, when anybody give an offering to, through you, to be offered to a God, to a Guru, please remember to take it straight to the Guru or the God. You cannot use your mind and you cannot take that out and use it for some other purpose. It cannot be done. That's a grave sin that you will commit. So saying, as Pundalik Rao began to get up to bring the fruit, Sai Maharaj was seen stopping him by holding his hand. Unknowingly, I have betrayed the trust. But merciful as you are, please take me under your wing. I beg your forgiveness. Be merciful to me, for I am your great offender. A great virtuous sadhu like Swami, but even his word have I disregarded, and that fruit which should have been offered to you, I have eaten it up. This is to transgress the limit set by the saints. Oh, what a great sinner I am. Is there any way to atone for this sin? How? Oh, how could I have become so shameless? Very true. It is very sad that your mind can be such a deceptive one. It will say, it's okay, you can buy another coconut offer. No, it doesn't work like that. That coconut which was given from the hands of the Swami is very exclusive. You cannot replace with any other coconut by any other means. What has happened is a grave sin. After listening to what had happened, Shri Sainath said with a smile, why should one take the coconut in hand at all if it could not be safeguarded properly? Did you see? Why would you accept that coconut you to bring and offering it to me if you cannot safeguard? Why are you taking that responsibility? And then, committing such a grave sin and then asking me for pardon. You know what? Every time when you commit a sin and ask you for forgiveness, the gurus are very compassionate. They understand you are that petty, low-lying creature, and he will forgive you. But please remember, he will have to suffer for your karma. Any action that is committed, you have to repay it. So it is not such a simple thing as it looks like. People, they'll make 100,000 mistakes and come and say, sorry Guruji, sorry Guruji. Sorry doesn't work, because Guruji has to suffer. Will you suffer for it? Tell me. If you can suffer, then please say sorry. We'll also commit 100 sins and you please suffer for it. Try suffering one sin. Do that. I have seen my Krishna Guruji suffering for everybody's karma. I have seen him taking other people's sickness. That is the greatness. I revere him today. Nobody, even to become him, nobody can be him rather. Come on, his position nobody can take. To be him is not a joke, because he doesn't give a damn about the body. We are so attached to this body. We think that this body is our possession. We are so attached. I am the great. I am this RajShree Maa. That name which you get associated with this body is so strong. No, you are nobody. You are not this body. That is the truth you need to understand. That is why these saints do not care a damn about that body, so they can wear themselves out for other people's sufferings. They can suffer for the other sins. They can take on other people's karma. But please remember, the body can only take so much. Beyond a point, they will have to discard that body. The body cannot handle beyond a certain point. And the more we commit these kind of sins, we are actually making the Guru suffer for it. The Guru has to pay. He will say, I forgive you. And people are very shameless. They so conveniently forget that they have not done any sin. But they don't understand the repercussions which the Guru has to go through. You might not know, because he's never going to tell you for what he's going to suffer. But you will conveniently, disrespect, you'll conveniently commit all the sins and say, Guruji, I'm very sorry. Sorry, very simple. I know some people have taught this word sorry and thank you. I don't understand this. Very easily said sorry, but are you really sorry? It doesn't even show, there's no repentance. Sorry also doesn't come in today's day and age. People have difficulty in saying sorry and thank you. I don't know what age we have entered into. There is no respect for people. They don't know how to respect. Our culture is going to dogs. We are not living our values. We are not living our culture. Baba is saying here, if you cannot, take up a responsibility, then why do you accept one? Feeling certain that you will give me my thing, my brother placed full trust in your words. See? The Swami placed full trust, believing that he will go and offer it at my feet. But should it result in this? Is this all your trustworthiness? My brother's wish was not fulfilled. Is this the way you work? He said, the value of that fruit cannot be equaled. Even if you bring many others, absolutely, you cannot equal to the value of that fruit. That one fruit which has come from the Swami's hand is priceless. Because that has his love, that has his blessings, that has his everything that he wanted to convey and offer at Sai Baba's feet. But what you people coming into your mind, eating is so important. He said that value of that fruit can never be equaled, even if you may bring many others. But now what had to happen has happened. Why feel sad for it needlessly? When Swami gave you that coconut, it was by my wish. And it is only by my wish that the fruit was broken. Then why regard yourself as the doer unnecessarily? See, Baba is being very kind here. He says, it was my wish that the Swami offered me the fruit and it is my wish that you broke. So why are you thinking you are the doer? And this is the way how the gurus, take on the sins of the people, so that because they are petty human beings, they don't understand and they should not suffer. They say in such a manner that it is my will alone. So forget about it. Why are you thinking you have done something? That is the greatness of the Guru. You harbor an egoistic attitude and hence regard yourself as an offender. But just adopt this attitude of being a non-doer and all your troubles can be avoided. What is Baba teaching here? It's a very profound lesson. When you think I am the doer, or I am the sinner, of course then you become a sinner and you are the doer. But Baba is saying, adopt the attitude that you are the non-doer. You are only an instrument in the hands of the Divine Lord. Then whatever is happening through you is happening by the Divine will alone. But that way, tomorrow you will go commit a murder and say, oh, Baba asked me to commit a murder. I went and killed a person. How convenient is it? Very convenient. Then you can blame God for everything. All your misdemeanors, you will blame God. I know many people in my Krishna Guruji's world will say, Guruji, you are only doing it. Oh really? Guruji doesn't do. Nobody understands. Lord doesn't do. Even my Guru, go listen to my Krishna Guruji satsang in Krishna knows. His Uddhav Gita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Das Bodh, Narad Bhakti Sutra, Guru Charitra, everything. In all that he teaches one thing. The Guru is non-doer. The Lord Almighty doesn't do. Please remember, born of your nature, you are perforce going to perform those actions. No, my Guruji doesn't do, neither the God does it. You are the one who's programmed to do those. But there is a very beautiful thing which my Guruji has taught. Even Lord Shri Krishna teaches. You know what is that? The choice is yours. I give the choice. I gave Duryodhana and Arjuna the choice, either to choose me or choose my army. When I gave the choice to Duryodhana, Duryodhana chose my army. Arjuna chose me. So the choice is in your hands. What is the choice that you are going to exercise depends on the actions that will come about it. Okay? So if you exercise the choice of wanting to get married or going into the material world or doing whatever that you want, I want to go abroad, I want to become a musician, or I want to become a spiritualist. Whatever the decision you take, at the end of the day, choice rests in your hands alone. And based on your choice, the destiny will work then. So whatever the decision that you take, depending on that, your future path will open up. So don't blame the God. Guruji, you are the one who's doing it. I feel like giving 2 tight slaps at the time. When Swami, okay, you harbor an egoistic attitude and hence regard yourself as an offender. But just adopt this attitude of being a non-doer and all your troubles can be avoided. So become an instrument in the hands of the Divine. Then don't blame the Guruji. The Guruji doesn't do anything. Guruji only gives you a choice. What do you want? You want me or you want my Maya? Choice is yours. You take my Maya, that is your problem, not my problem. Then don't blame me for it. Why do people own their meritorious deeds alone and not their sins? This is a very interesting question. After all, the power of both is the same. So act without ego. Absolutely. What is being said? When something good happens, oh, I did it. Oh, I'm the one who's so great. I did it. I did good in this world. Why do people own their meritorious deed alone? So anything that is all merit, where you're going to get something good benefit out of it, then I am the doer. And not their sins, but you don't want to suffer for your sins. How convenient. You should go and listen to my Krishna Guruji's Das Bodh Satsang, especially on a chapter called the story of Valmiki. Please go listen. And in that, he's told a very beautiful lesson. Actually, I've already talked about this in our previous satsang. I'm not going to discuss the story, but go listen if you want to understand what is that means to suffer only for your merit and not for your demerit. Demerit means your sins, good or bad actions. At the end of the day, it is action, it's karma. And that is why when you come to the Guru teaches you how to perform nishkama karma, selfless actions in which neither merit comes to you nor demerit comes to you. No sins or no good karma, nothing comes to you. So you are only performing, and whatever the action that is supposed to be performed by you with the will of the Divine Lord. Why? Because you're not taking any credit or onus on you. You're not taking ownership of that action. That is why it is very important to not have mind when you do anything. You have to only keep taking the name of the Divine Lord and just be an instrument in His hands. Be the best instruments in the hands of the Divine. And be filled with goodness and love for everybody. That coconut fell in the hollow of your palms only because I wished that you should come to meet me. This is the whole truth. You are also my children. The fruit that fell in your mouth has itself been offered to me. Regard it as having reached me most certainly. See? How does this work? Because Sai Baba is an omniscient, omnipotent and... I forgot the other one. The word is not coming from my mouth. My apologies. So he's everything. Okay, now when we accept, we eat it, Baba has accepted it. He has eaten through you. That is why you will not accrue any karma. But can you do this? No, you can't. You're not this great being. Baba is the divine Lord Mighty. He is the Parabrahman. So he is able to do that. So he can redeem you of that karma. But otherwise, you would have committed a grave sin. Do you understand? And here Baba is being so generous by saying this. He's only showing his love and he's absolving you of the sin so that you don't fall into further karma or because of this sin. So he's saying, you are also my children. The fruit that fell in your mouth has itself been offered to me. Regard it as having reached me. Most certainly. See how beautiful. This is called goodness and this is called greatness. Only God can do this, not any human being. Only when thus persuaded did Pundalik Rao's mind calm down by Baba's words, and slowly his sadness disappeared. And what happens? Then we become shameless. Once the Guruji says, yeah, I've forgiven you, then you become the dog's tail, kutte ka dum, which will not straighten again. It will go back to his natural ways and then you're ready for next karmas and backstabbing that same Guru. You're ready for it. Loss of the coconut was just an excuse. By Baba's instruction, his sadness of mind melted away. In this way, they who were enveloped by a false ego became free from conceit and faultless. This is the whole essence of the story, that as the mind becomes free from ego, so also does it become more deserving of spiritual welfare and will cross over this worldly life effortlessly. First, you have to overcome your mind. The reason why the Guru's way, he does it, he teaches you in different ways to overcome that ego, that conceit, self-deceit of your mind. When you overcome that, only then can you become eligible for the spiritual welfare, not otherwise. Now listen to the unique and charming experience of a third devotee, and you will gradually see Baba's incomparable glory and grandeur of his power. In the northern part of Bandra Taluka, near the suburb of Bandra, at a place called Santa Cruz, lived one Dhurandhar family who were Hari devotees. All the brothers were fond of saints and had a steadfast devotion to Shri Ram. With a single-minded faith in Ram Nam, they did not like to interfere with other people's business. Their way of life was very simple, and so was the lifestyle of their children. The ladies of the house were also faultless in their behavior, and hence Chakrapani, Sri Vishnu, was indebted to them. Balram was one of them, who was renowned for his meritorious deeds and who standing with the rulers was very high. He was a devotee of Sri Vitthal. Everybody liked him. This gem born to a Ram devotee appeared on this earth on 19th February in the year 1878. This adornment of the Patre Prabhu community was born in Bombay in a well-known respectable family in the year 1878. He was proficient in Western education, had been enrolled as an advocate, was well-versed in philosophy and famous everywhere as a learned man. He had a loving devotion to the god Panduranga and was fond of spiritual pursuits. Whereas the father's chosen deity was Ram, the son's devotion was to Vitthal. All the brothers were degree holders with a religious bent of mind. On Balram, however, the purifying, sanctifying influences of the pure seed, his father, were most remarkable. An attractive, beautiful presentation of arguments, pure, straightforward thinking, a sharp intellect, and righteous conduct, these were his virtues worth emulating. He had done a good deal of social service and had himself written an account of his community. When the self-imposed responsibility was discharged, he set out on the spiritual path to attain his spiritual will. There too, he made good progress and becoming proficient in the Bhagavad Gita and Jnaneshwari, which he studied carefully. He became renowned for his knowledge in spiritual subjects. He was a great devotee of Sai. He died at a young age in the year 1925. Listen to his brief life story. On 9th June in the year 1925, he ended his earthly journey and merged with Sri Vitthal. The Dhurandhar brothers had an opportunity to go to Sai's court for the saint's darshan on an auspicious day in the year 1912. 6 months earlier, the eldest brother, Babulji, along with Vaman Rao, had returned happily from Shirdi after taking darshan to experience for themselves the sweet experience and to get the benefit of that unique darshan. Balram and others went to Shirdi. Even before they arrived, Baba said in front of everybody, "Today, many people from my darbar are coming here." On hearing of these loving words, the Durandar brothers were much astonished. How did Baba get this news when nobody had been informed about it? Then on seeing Sai with their own eyes, they rushed forward and embraced his feet. In soft tones, the conversation proceeded to the joy and satisfaction of all. Moreover, seeing these people arrive, Baba's words at once came forth. Seeing these people of my darbar have come, the same that I had said are coming. And listen to Baba's words that followed, word for word. You and I are known to each other earlier from 60 generations. Balram and all the brothers were full of modesty and stood with folded hands in front of Baba, gazing at his Shri's feet. After taking Shri Sai's darshan, Balram and others experienced a state of loving joy and felt their visit to Shirdi to be worthwhile. The eyes filled with tears, the throat was choked with tears, the hair on the body stood on end, and their hearts were crowded with the Ashtabhav. Seeing Balram's condition, Sai Samarth felt very happy and started talking to all of them, instructing and advising them lovingly. He who worships me increasingly, like the waxing moon in the brighter half of the lunar month, and who has surrendered to me totally all the feelings and inclinations of his heart, he is truly the blessed one. With a steadfast faith in his mind, he who is engaged in Guru worship, to him God is altogether indebted, and no one can cast an evil eye upon him. Oh my God, this is a very profound verse. What is it being mentioned? With a steadfast faith in mind, he who is engaged in Guru worship, to him God is altogether indebted, and no one can cast an evil eye upon him. Your Guru Bhakti has to be the highest. Guru worship is greater than even worshipping the Lord. You know what Lord Shri Krishna says? I touch the feet of those devotees and disciples who have surrendered totally unto the lotus feet of their Guru, because I am the very essence of that Guru. So when you worship and experience that Guru as your everything and show that absolute faith in him, please remember Lord Shri Krishna is pleased. And he says, I touched the feet of the humble servants of such a great Guru. That is what he says. So what does it mean? It's very profound. Do you understand how much of Guru Bhakti you need to have? It is very, very, very important that you need to honor your Guru to that extent. You have to be absolutely devoted to him. Not in your own way, trying to disrespect him and then come and catch his feet. What use is it? No use. Please remember, he can forgive you, but you have to atone for that sin of yours. It is not such an easy, because like I remember here, Baba is only teaching. The teaching, in the teaching, it's a very important thing. Doesn't mean you go back to your normal ways and completely forget what you have done just because, you think there's nothing wrong happened. You don't know that action that you have committed, your Guruji has to suffer for it. And like my Krishna Guruji will say, when the arrow is shot, it has to meet its mark somewhere. So what do you think is going to happen? So anything that we speak, I'm sorry. So anything that we speak, anything that we do is always going to perform certain actions. It's going to have an end result to it. There is a karma that is being performed, whether good or bad. So always be careful what you say, what you do, it matters. And when you commit any kind of a sin, then who's going to be suffering? Your Guruji is suffering for it. So don't do it. Always be good. That is why it is very important to be very good and pure. addition, Sai Samarth felt very happy and started talking to all of them, instructing and advising them lovingly. He who worships me increasingly, like the waxing moon in the brighter half of the lunar month, and who has surrendered to me totally all the feelings and inclinations of his heart, he is truly the blessed one. With a steadfast faith in his mind, he who is engaged in Guru worship, to him God is altogether indebted, and no one can cast an evil eye upon him. He who is fond of Guru Bhajan and does not waste even half a minute, to him the Guru will give boundless happiness and take him safely beyond this worldly life. On hearing these words, the eyes of all filled with water. Their minds were full of joy and their hearts swelled with emotion. Then, making obeisance, they all wore round their necks the flower garlands of Sai's utterances. Overwhelmed as they were with a loving devotion, his words made them very happy. And so, they later on came back to the Vana and rested a while after the meal. In the afternoon, at about 4 to 4:30, they went to the mosque again and prostrated in obeisance before Baba. Balram, with great humility, began pressing his feet. Baba put forward his clay pipe and signaled to him to smoke it. Though not used to it at all, yet as prasad, he smoked it with a painful effort and returning it to Baba's hand, bowed with good feelings. We think when Baba smokes and give it to you, oh, it is his, I don't know what, his juta. Juta means he is already, he's tasted it, and from that I have to eat, I don't know what is the English word that it says. So when somebody eats it from that spoon or plate and you think, oh, they have already touched, I don't want to eat from. But you know what? When the Guru eats, and eating from his removes all your sins and desires and gives you that bhakti, because it is God alone. They are the pure being. It was a great day. Good fortune to Balram. From thence his asthma completely disappeared and he felt greatly relieved. Can you believe how beautiful it is? How the great gurus, cure you of some of your sickness even without you not knowing. But if he had an ego and said, no, I'm not going to, I don't smoke, then you'd have stopped it. But how great a devotee he was? He was the highest order of devotee. Why? Because the moment Baba gave it to him, he, without any questions, even though he doesn't smoke, he just did it. With painful effort, it said here, his clay pipe and signaled it to him to smoke, though not used to it, yet as prasad. He smoked it with painful effort and returning it to Baba's hand, bowed with good feelings. This is the mark of a highest devotee. He was a great devotee for sure. This asthma had not been of a short duration of a day or two. The affliction was from full 6 years. The clay pipe was so powerful as if a mantra had been whispered in his ear by someone. Puffing at the pipe once, he returned it, bowing his head with great humility. From then onwards, the asthma disappeared and never afflicted him again. However, only on one day in between, Balram had a coughing fit. Everyone was surprised. No one could understand the cause of it. On making enquiries afterwards, they all knew that it was on that day that Baba gave up the body, thus giving a sign to the devotees. The day on which Balram was coughing was the same day that Baba gave up the body to the earth. And this was the mark he gave them. But from then onwards, never again did he have a bout of coughing till the day he died. Can anyone ever forget this experience of the clay pipe? Of course not. Such is the love of your Guru. His way is incomprehensible. You cannot even comprehend. It's beyond your mind's ken and understanding. So don't use your mind. Keep your mind aside. Throw it out. So that day of their visit, being a Thursday, was also the day of the Chavdi procession. Their joy was doubled and it became a truly remarkable day and memorable day for them. From 8 o'clock to 9, the most melodious and absorbing bhajans would be sung to the accompaniment of tal and mridanga in front of Baba in the courtyard. Singing Abhanga on one side, they used to decorate the palanquin on the other, and after the palanquin was ready, Baba used to set out to go to the Chavdi. Earlier in the 37th chapter, the marvel of the Chavdi has already been described in detail, and it will only be a repetition in this place. It was Baba's regular routine to spend one night in the mosque and the next in the Chavdi, which he observed without a break till his Samadhi. Loving Balram had an eager enthusiasm to watch the pomp and show of the Chavdi. Hence, the Dhurandhar brothers returned at the time of the Chavdi to see it. I'm going to take additional 5 minutes because there's only a few more verses. Let me complete this chapter. Sorry for the apologies for taking a few more minutes. Loving Balram had an eager enthusiasm to watch the pomp and the show of the Chavdi. Hence, the Dhurandhar brothers returned at the time of the Chavdi to see it. Men and women of that holy Shirdi set out with Baba to go to the Chavdi, joyously proclaiming glory to Baba. The horse, Sham Sundar, who was covered with a cloth richly embroidered in jari and was adorned with beautiful ornaments, was in front of the procession, quivering and dancing noisily. Horns, trumpets of all descriptions were sounded, and Sai walked ceremoniously with the royal umbrella on his head, with the palanquin and the much decorated Shamkarna surrounded by the devotees. Flags and banners in hands, the devotees would hold the regal umbrella on Shri's head and gently wave the chawris, holding torches on all the four sides. The throng of devotees would walk on both sides of Baba and sing bhajans, taking with them sweet melodious instruments like tal, dhol, mridanga, etc. And so as that grand procession reached in front of the Chavdi, Baba would stop and facing the north would make some gestures with his hands with the proper rituals. To his right would be Baba's Bhagat Malsapati, who held the right end of the cloth on Baba's shoulder with his own hands, while on the left would walk Tatya Patil, lantern in hand. As it was, Baba's face was fair and of a yellowish complexion, and when the light of the lamp blended with it, his face would appear yellowish gold with a tinge of copper red resembling the glow of the rising sun. Blessed was that sacred darshan of that time. Facing the north, with a concentrated mind, he seeming to be calling someone, half raising his right hand. From there, Baba was taken inside the Chavdi and respectfully made to sit. Precious ornaments and rich clothes were offered, and sandalwood paste was applied all over the body. Sometimes a fine, rich gem-studded turban with a plum, sometimes a gold crown, or sometimes a dark-colored turban would be put on his head with a beautiful dress heavily embroidered in jewelry. Necklaces of diamonds, pearls, and emeralds were lovingly put round Baba's necks. Some would apply to his forehead a round mark of the fragrant musk. Some would wash his feet and perform puja, offering oblation and worshipping his feet. Some would apply the saffron paste to his body and put pan in his mouth. Taking the arti with 5 lamps and niranjan with camphor, when they waved the arti around Baba, the glorious spectacle was just incomparable. You must understand one very important thing. All this Baba is only doing only to please the devotees. Baba is not interested in all of this. Never is any divine master, any great saint, the Sadgurus are interested in these kind of things. It is only to fulfill and please the devotees' desires do they accept all of this. But they themselves are the Avaduta, the free beings. And we are very soon going to be celebrating the Tatre Jayanti on Tuesday the 29th. I will be posting it on Krsna Knows, so please join us for the prayers of the Supreme Master, my Gurudev's Gurudev. The Dhurandharas were surprised to see the same divine glow on Sai's face, which beautified the face of the idol of Panduranga. As the flash of lightning in the sky, people on earth are unable to look at the same scintillating light on Sai's face now dazzled their eyes. At dawn, there was Kakada Arti. The Dhurandhar brothers went for it too, and even there they saw the same bright glow on Baba's face. From then on, till the end of his days, Balram's faith and devotion to Baba was so steadfast that it never wavered in least. Hemant surrenders at Sai's feet. In the next chapter, the book will be complete and there will be a pause and review of the previous chapters. Give me your attention this one last time. We'll be to all. Here ends the 51st chapter of Shri Sai Satcharita called A Narration of Accounts of the Three Devotees as inspired by the saints and the virtuous and composed by his devotee Hemat Pant. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharitra Parayan. I'm wishing you once again a Merry Christmas and a very happy Vaikunth Ekadashi. On Tuesday, we will be celebrating Dattatreya Jayanti and Samapti of Sai Satcharitra Parayan that we have done. Please join us for the prayers, and those who are willing to come here in person, send us a message. We will put we will upload the details on Krsna knows of what time the puja is and everything else. Have a wonderful weekend and hope you have a very good Christmas with your family and friends. Thank you once again. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunath Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.